JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and pride of the Jaguars, Fred Taylor, bring you highlights and analysis from today's game. Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC, is brought to you by Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by TIAA Bank. Now, to get things started, here's JP Shadrick.
And welcome into Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC. Final score, Browns 24, Jaguars 13. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars Radio Network. Jaguars Postgame, presented by Florida Home AC. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Jaguars fall in the result in preseason week 1 of the Cleveland Browns. But the big story tonight, Fred, is the starters were out there. Some good, some not so good, but they got some points, and Trevor Lawrence's last pass of the night was a touchdown.
JP, what's up, Mike?
Hey, Freddie T, you're the big story of the night. Good to have you back.
Good to see you, man. JP, I appreciate the coffee.
You're welcome. Got to keep you awake. I know it's late. It's
I know, right?
Bedtime,
I haven't been used to this in a while. But certainly, man, you want to be able to have seen those guys get in there, get a good start, show some good, plays, have couple good reps, but more importantly, walk away injury-free. I think that's the key, unlike the young man, Nick Harris, right?
Yes.
The Brown center that went down on the second play of the game. You don't want to ever see that. So hopefully he bounces back quick. But as far as the Jaguars, man, ETN looked great. I thought Trevor showed some accuracy there. He had the one high ball. But, again, capping it off with the touchdown, we can win with that.
I thought that it was great that the Jags had a 13-0 lead when their starters basically went out of the game. But I felt like they left some on the field, which is a good thing. There's room for growth there. Trevor was 6 of 12 passing, Fred, and I thought easily could have been about 9 or 10 for 12, honestly. 1 or 2 on him. A couple of his guys could have helped him out. Wasn't patient enough on second and goal on that first drive. Would have had Ingram breaking free in the corner of the end zone. But, other than that, and ETN, he did show good bursts. I thought he tried to do a little too much on a couple of plays. But, I mean, if this is the bottom basement and they can grow from here, it's a pretty good sign.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, Mike. Everything other than the ETN comments, like I told you a second ago.
Oh, really?
From one running back who liked to dance in the backfield.
I'm just a little biased. I definitely biased towards the position, but it'll come in time. We'll be able to see throughout the season what that looks like as, they start to mesh and gel with the offensive linemen. But, aside from that, going back to the team, just the offense, the 11-play drive, field goal, 4 plays capitalized where they're able to score, and then the other 11-play to get the touchdown. I was more impressed by that in the first downs that they came away with. They struggled a little bit on third down conversions early, but they eventually converted some that led to sustained drives and a couple scores.
Don't get me wrong, I feel good, right? 13-0 with and the Jags played a lot more starters than the Browns did tonight, so they should have beat them, but they took care of their business in that regard. And, after that, I think we see the value of those frontline guys because it fell off rather quickly, rather steeply there, JP.
A lot of big runs, a 41-yard run.
Yeah.
I mean, all that stuff was happening after the case. 24-13 is the final score. Browns over the Jaguars. Jags defense, though, got a takeaway early in this game. Rayshon Jenkins forced a fumble, cut inside, hit the running back, knocked it free, and Shaq Griffin got the fumble recovery. And this is a team last year, obviously, that was lacking in takeaways. They were last in the league, Fred.
Right. They need to get that pressure up front. They got to play happy, play excited, and just fly around. Fly around and try and create some turnovers, get a ball back to the offense, and go on the sideline and get some rest. Unlike a year ago, teams were out there just driving the ball down the field, and they weren't getting any pressure. So hopefully with the addition of Trayvon Walker, having Josh on the other side, they can, as a duo, create some pressure opportunities, take some pressure off the secondary, and hopefully create some turnovers that will get the offense the ball back.
Yeah, Trayvon didn't get credit for the forced fumble. He was right there, though, when Rayshon popped it loose, and he would have been there a half second later, and he also laid a pretty big hit on Dearness Johnson. And I just thought, again, he kind of flashed his body. Like, you noticed 44 in the backfield on a couple of occasions. He didn't get the quarterback on the ground, but he only also played about a quarter of football tonight. So I thought a solid build off of week 1 for him.
Yeah, we can like I said a second ago with the offense, we can win with that. And I think that the more reps he gets and the more that he sees as this preseason goes, his confidence will build. He'll start to feel like he felt in college when he was the guy. And the guys will cheer him on and tell him, look, just go. The coaches will give him that green light, especially being the guy that they're going to depend on. So I'm excited to see him go. I'm looking forward to it.
We'll take our first time out. We will hear from head coach Doug Pederson. Ashton Sullivan is standing by. That's just in a little bit. The Browns over the Jaguars in preseason week 1, 24-13. Jaguars postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. This is Jaguars postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Jaguars fans, huddle up for the best defense against expensive car repairs, CarShield. Score big with the nation's #1 automotive protection company, CarShield. They offer affordable plans that cover over 6,000 parts and systems in your car, truck, or SUV. Don't miss any Jaguars action this season with a car breakdown. Call the MVPs at CarShield for their best coverage ever. Call 800-471-1223. 800-471-1223. Go Jags!
Veterans, you may have earned a variety of VA benefits. Did you know VA can help you further your education and pursue professional training? The Home Loan Guarantee Program can help you buy, repair, or adapt a home. VA provides housing support if you find yourself homeless or at risk of homelessness. And don't forget world-class health care. Learn more about these and other VA benefits. Visit choose.va.gov.
How far should we go? When it comes to the health of children, we will stop at nothing, focusing on prevention as much as cures, working with community leaders, educators, policymakers to make every child's world a place for them to thrive, going to the nth degree and beyond. Nemours Children's Health, well beyond medicine. Join the journey at nemours.org/beyond.
Welcome back. Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. The Browns over the Jaguars 24-13 in preseason week number 1. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, Fred Taylor. Jaguar starters had some good looks tonight. And as we mentioned, the second team, the run defense gave up some stuff again when they came in the ball game. Some turnovers when the second and third team offense was in there as well. Some things to work on there, but as we mentioned, Fred, you got to be somewhat happy with what you put out there tonight if you're Doug Pederson, I think, with your first team.
Yeah, it's a good place to start, overall. And like I said at the opening, I'm sure most coaches will go back and say, thank God, at least on the surface of it, we're injury-free. And now we get an opportunity to build, make our corrections with everyone that's involved, look at the reps per player, and really just make a determination of how much more you want to give the guys the next preseason game. But I'll always come back to injuries. The reps, they can clean up. The more guys are out there, the less mistakes they will tend to make, and they can build from there.
Yeah, I thought we talked about in the pregame, JP, wanted to see Zay Jones carry over what he'd been doing on the practice field onto the preseason field, and he did, obviously, right away. And it was a good sign because, look, you can't make excuses because Cleveland was without a lot of their frontline guys tonight. But you don't have Christian Kirk out there. And, Zay Jones is going to be a guy who works complementary off of Kirk. So to see him go out there and kind of be, for a quarter, the number one target in the passing game was nice. I wanted to see some different routes. He gave you that. He had an out. He had a crossing pattern. Trevor missed him on it. Obviously, he had the streak up there up the sideline for 32 yards. So they gave him some different looks. It wasn't just kind of a one-trick pony, and he just missed him. If he fires it a little bit earlier in the corner of the end zone, he might have him for a touchdown there. So I thought he looked good tonight, and that's kind of what I wanted to see, because this is a guy that got paid based on what they think he's going to do, which he's never really done that for a full season in the past. And at least for one night, I thought he passed the test.
That's a good point. Yeah, it doesn't have the complimentary piece out there to help him, so he's kind of out on his own. That made a lot of sense tonight. So I wanted to see some different things. Evan Ingram had the touchdown, the rollout to the left, the catch, and then that was on a 4th down play, but he ended up in the end zone to finish it off. That was a good thing. He'll be a big piece of this offense too.
Yeah, we talked about that upstairs. I don't want to get too far to the left when I make this comment, but to have he and Manhurst out there, Evan is so athletic. He reminds me of the late Aaron Hernandez, in terms of athletic ability and speed. So hopefully they can create some of those matchups where you can get him down the seam and have some crossers, and being able to get Trevor to his strengths, which is rolling out of the pocket, being able to throw as well as he can on the run. And we also talked about Coach Pederson, in the system, and seems that he took some plays from what Trevor was good at back in college in Clemson. The zone reads, getting him on the outside, and they'll get more creative with that. Under routes, crossing routes, etc. Check downs. So I'm excited, and I'm not just saying it. I know I sound repetitive by saying it, but I think this offense will be really good this year.
Really good.
I think they will. I think the creativity from Coach Pederson and having that year off, being able to really just dissect the game, and create some things, because the NFL is a copycat league. But when you go dark for a year, you have an opportunity to really just get creative, and concoct some shot plays, or some plays that you can just pull out of the hat that people haven't seen, some formation sets, the stuff they did in the Super Bowl.
Absolutely.
Right? So he probably took some time away and got really creative behind the scenes. So I think with that, they'll be really good as an offense. Gotta stay healthy.
You got a quarterback with the raw material to pull it off, too, right? I mean, just with the abilities. But I thought that RPO was interesting, where Trevor, obviously, it seemed like it was designed for him to run that ball almost from the snap. And I thought that was Doug Pederson saying, let me show you a little something, right? We're not worried about winning this football game, and this isn't the key play in the game. But I think, let's just show you.
It's on tape.
You better be ready for this, because we're going to mix this in, and you're not going to know it's coming, and that's going to take up preparation time during the week.
And with the RPOs, man, and even putting that on tape, but going with the RPOs, it's so much you can do with it. There's so many options that can come off of it. And if they can get these guys running corners, crossers, the check down, screens, whatever it might be, that year away, I think he has, he hasn't shown it, but I think he took that time to get creative, and I believe they'll show it this year.
Then all of a sudden you pull it up and throw it off that too. If you really
want it, a ton of options.
Yeah, I mean, let's go.
A ton of options. Just give me the ball, though.
You want it?
Not right now.
Oh, okay.
I told you I'm 15 pounds heavy in 8 months.
But hey, I mean, this is where the game is for quarterbacks in the NFL. There are fewer and fewer Tom Brady stand in the pocket guys, and so if you can bring that element and pick up, 3-4 extra first downs over the course of a game, that's huge for your offense.
Right, and it's not street ball. I've seen some of these anonymous quotes, guys picking on Patrick Mahomes and he's playing street ball. That RPO and that, all of that stuff, it's designed to confuse those defenses and play off keep certain reads, right? And going into the games, you'll know those reads based on the situation and the areas of the field. So coaches like Coach Pederson, I'm sure they take the time and they're going to, dissect that and take advantage of it. And you got a quarterback that certainly can handle it.
We'll take another timeout. Doug Pederson coming up in just a little bit after a Jaguars loss in preseason week number 1, 24-13, the final. The Browns a winner. PRI Productions, the Southeast full-service event company, has everything you need to bring your next idea to life. Visit PRIProductions.com and learn more. This is Jaguars Postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
And we're back with breaking news. Coke Zero Sugar might be the best Coke ever.
That's right, Jim. Coke Zero Sugar is a must-try for any Coke fan, so make sure you... Jim. Jim. We're on the air.
Ooh, yes, this tastes like the best Coke ever to me. Your thoughts, Jen?
Well, can I have a sip?
Jen, we're in the middle of reporting the news.
I need to try it first.
At Fair and Farah, we represent people from all walks of life in matters involving personal injury cases. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter.
All right. How did you feel like it went overall, Doug, tonight for your starters on offense?
I thought it went well for them. A couple field goals early, and then the touchdown drive we ended at, the one there. I was just, I wish we would have finished the other two, with touchdowns. But I thought for the first time they did some good things. Wasn't perfect, but did well both sides of the ball.
Could you tell just by that third drive that they were more comfortable or more kind of settled in?
And that's why I probably played them a little longer than expected. I think 25 or 26 snaps, something like that. But I just wanted them to kind of game, and go back out. I thought that, because sometimes in camp, conditioning becomes an issue, and you kind of want to see those things. I thought they did really well with that, and just overall, there's some things to learn from. Obviously, we get better at, but yeah, they played well.
How concerned is the running game?
Offensively? Listen, it's still early. We're trying a lot of things, doing a lot of things, seeing a lot of people. You don't game plan a lot, so you're not really focused on them as much as it is us. So not a concern at this point. We just got to keep going to work and get better at it.
What do you feel like was the high point tonight, starting group?
Well, the fact that we scored. I wanted to see execution. I wanted to see, physicality up front with the offensive line. Move the line of scrimmage, things like that, and end up either with kicks or touchdowns, and we did that. So those are all positives that we can build off of.
The secondary got a takeaway tonight. Jenkins looking forward.
Team and the flip side of that is we have to take care of the ball. That was kind of the difference in the game. The touchdown there, or the interception that was just really ripped out of our hands, right before half, and had a nice gain there in the fourth and turnover, and just things like that just can't happen. But it was good to see the defense get their hands on some balls.
Braylon had a nice tackle on third down early in the game. Also drew a holding penalty. What you see out of him and just how is he progressing?
Yeah, I think he's doing well. It's hard. I'm gonna obviously watch the film and see it, but I think overall he did some really good things out there. He's disruptive and kind of picked up where he left off last week, and it's good to see him and Josh Allen both out there at the same time.
Doug, you mentioned game plan. You didn't over here last week. You didn't plan for the Raiders in Canton. You said you didn't do much now this week. Next week, when you get ready for the game here against Pittsburgh, do you almost treat that like a regular game where you really got to implement what Pittsburgh's doing both offensively and defensively?
You can a little bit, to try to have some success on offense and defense. I still think it's difficult, especially with the amount of players that both teams are playing this time of year. And obviously we have 2 games under our belt, where they'll have 1. So there's not a lot to go off of, but you still want your team to have success going into the game, so you try to prepare them a little bit for what they may see. But again, it kind of just boils down to just doing your job, and how you're coached and what you're coached to do assignment-wise. And I think tonight, especially in the second half, we had a number of mistakes that cost us and hurt us at times.
11 rushes in the first quarter.
Is that a focus of yours going into the season that you really want to be physical up front and really run the football a lot?
Well, I mean, yes, I did want to see the offensive line, in the run game, and I wanted to see, Travis in the run game, and just to see how we could handle that. I think you go into each game trying to establish the run, and sometimes you can either keep it going, or sometimes you have to switch gears. But it was just, I think, a mindset for me to see that offensive line and Travis really, be physical, especially early in the game.
Are you going to be looking to utilize Travis in a number of ways this season as more of a weapon like you used in college, or are you really going to try to focus on him as being that change of pace back?
Maybe.
Coach, defensively, how do you think the group did getting pressure on the quarterback?
Did well. Early on, I thought we did a nice job of putting pressure on Deshaun, and defensively, we had a couple chances maybe for some turnovers early. We had some, but I'm talking about interceptions there. But yeah, the front seven I think are going to be really good. Our third down pass rush can be special, but we still got some work to do before we get to the season.
That was the most extended time Travis has actually gotten carries in an NFL game to this point. Without going back to the film, what did you really see from him?
It's kind of interesting because I thought he did some things really well. He stayed disciplined in his path and his track, and then I thought maybe sometimes he got a little antsy and tried to make some moves that probably weren't there, but that just comes with time, as you know, and he hasn't had the time. So these are valuable reps for him. He's going to get better. He'll watch the film, either tomorrow or the next day and make the corrections. But I thought overall for the first time back out, it was good to see him and put him in those situations.
Is that kind of why it was important for you guys to see him out there in that game like tonight?
Yes. Yeah.
Trevor had the 32-yarder to Zay to sort of get things going. How did you feel about that play and how Trevor played in general?
I think overall he played well. It was good to see. It was a good throw and catch. He made some really other difficult throws. The fourth down to Evan on touchdown was a good throw. But yeah, to start the game down the field, those two connecting. Zay being new to the football team it was good to see. Something that we can continue to build upon, and you bring guys like Zay on your team and Christian Kirk and Evan and those guys, offensively that they're weapons and they can just add value to your football team. With your Marvin Joneses, with your Agnews when he's healthy, Laviska, and it's just another piece that we can utilize, and it was good to see them connect a couple times tonight.
Was Christian close? Could he have gone
into if it was a normal game, I think he would have been fine. Yeah, but I just didn't want to put him out there and risk setback.
When it comes to Trevor, how do you feel about his poise for this game compared to the start of training camp where he was last year?
I think this guy is very, very mature. Handles a lot of things well. Doesn't get too high, doesn't get too low. Stays pretty even keel, and it's steady. I don't nothing's too big or too small for him, and handles it well.
Will Richardson, is there any update on him?
Yeah, right now I think it's an ankle again. It just got rolled up on, so I'll get further tomorrow. When the guys come in, I'll have a better update on all the guys that got hurt tonight.
Arden came out too this week.
Yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think he got poked in the eye. Yeah.
I don't want to be the Debbie Downer, I reckon, but
that's fine.
The tackling second and third quarters, especially about second front seven, and I think DT missed another one there. So you're going to have another heavy week, I guess, or Monday especially. Is that some things you're going to prioritize?
Yeah, we've got to tackle better, and some of these guys are fighting for roster spots. We know that, and we don't want them to put any added pressure on themselves, but at the same time, when the plays come to them, we ask them to make the play, and tonight there was just a few of those that didn't make the play, and we just need to keep working at it. We got a couple of good practices coming up this next week, and we'll emphasize that and make sure that when we get to the next game that we're better in those areas.
It seemed like Evan really showed off his athleticism on the touchdown. What were your thoughts on how he performed on that play?
Yeah, I thought he did well tonight. And not only in the pass game but the run game, and that was just just a well-executed play by our offense. Those are the things you want to see, from your offense on a fourth down scenario that scores the touchdown there. And it's good to see that him and, Trevor on the same page there. And just, Evan's just a good athlete, overall, and gives us great value on offense.
Last year, I believe there was only 2 first quarter touchdowns. 2.8 was the average in the first quarter. So even though it was preseason tonight, what does that say to this team and you, the third team will put up early?
Well, I think it's a step in the right direction, number one. Things that I've studied over the years, too, is teams that score early and kind of build that lead in the first half, tend to, win games more than lose games. And it's just an aggressive mindset. It's just, focusing on doing our jobs and executing. And we pride ourselves if as a staff we put together a first 15 or openers, and we try to score on those, maybe 8 or 9, 10 plays. And it was good to see tonight. We did get a couple of field goals early, which is good, and ultimately the touchdown there in the second quarter. But, yeah, that's something that we consciously, make an effort to do, and that score early.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you, guys.
Appreciate it.
Yep.
By, he will head down the hallway and catch up with Ashlyn Sullivan after a loss in preseason week 1. The final score of 24-13. The starters got a lot of time, though, in the first quarter. They finished with a couple field goals and a touchdown from Trevor Lawrence to Evan Ingram. Second, third teams gave up some yardage on the ground on defense, turned the ball over a couple times on offense. Some things to work on, but I think there are a lot of positives, at least out of tonight's game early, certainly in the first quarter for the starting groups for head coach Doug Pederson. Next week, the Jaguars get the Pittsburgh Steelers. They'll have a couple days off and then get back to work, and you can expect another high-intensity practice, I believe, on Monday. Doug Pederson has promised that. Another couple live tackling periods that they had this past Sunday. That was the talk of the week. You can expect that again coming up. And after this two-day break coming up after this Browns game tonight. So they'll be back on the field Monday, and there's only one more week of practices over at Episcopal. Then they'll shift back into the stadium here in the Flex Field to get ready for the regular season. Head coach Doug Pederson just wrapped up his press conference. Ashlyn Sullivan had our sideline duties tonight on radio, and she is standing by near the Jaguars locker room with head coach Doug Pederson. Ashlyn?
Thank you, JP. We have head coach Doug Pederson here, your defense holding the Cleveland Browns to 7 yards of total offense. How do you think they fared today?
I thought they did extremely well. It's one of the things we tried to get our starters to do on offense and defense was just overall execution. And I thought they came out and really were focused, early in the game. And it was good to see. It was good to see both sides play hard. We got some turnovers there with that first defense, and we scored on offense. And those were some of the objectives we wanted to accomplish in this game.
Mm-hmm. And it seems like offensively it took a little bit for them to get going, but you wanted to keep them in there to score. And the Travis Etienne, a guy we talked about all pregame long, a lot of targets today.
Yeah, and it was what we wanted to see.
Just what it felt like to be back in a live game action with your Clemson buddy again.
Yeah, it felt great. I think it's the first time since that New Orleans game last year that we played together, and even that we're still trying to get used to just being in the NFL, all that. So to be back, work the whole off season, OTAs, camp, all that, and then get to play together tonight, it was great. I thought did a good job. Both of us, obviously, you're still building, you're working through some stuff, and always things we can get better at. But I thought it was a good night.
He said that he did think a little bit about the old days, just for a brief time tonight. Just wondering if that thought even crossed your mind at any point.
I mean, not necessarily that. I think just that relationship that we have really comes out, especially in the heat of the moment. We're just really comfortable around one another. If I see something that he might have missed or vice versa, we can just talk to each other between plays, and he's always really, accepting whatever I got to say, hey, if it's whatever on a run play, stick to the gap, or he's got the balance, whatever it is, just talking about it. He's a great listener. I think he does a good job with all that.
Trevor, how important was it, to get a touchdown on that final drive after field goals the first 2?
Yeah, I mean, obviously that's the goal, to end with the touchdown. Helps a lot when you can turn those field goals into touchdowns, get those extra points. So for us to finish that way, obviously we had 2 opportunities and didn't really finish in the red zone, so it was nice to get that and finish the right way. Obviously, I think overall we played pretty well those first 3 series. There's, like I said, always some things to clean up, and we'll watch the tape and get better. But I thought the guys were ready, played fast, and that's the biggest thing. Guys were playing fast, getting open. I thought they did a good job.
It seems like you and Zay Jones have just been really clicking the last couple of days, and then tonight. What is it about him and his skill set that's just made him such a big target for you?
I just think his feel for the game. Also, I mean, his speed. He's got good size, really fast guy. First play of the game, kind of beat the guy over the top with a double move there. So just great. I think also, too, really physical with the catch. Similar to Marvin in that way. I see those guys are really good going up, making the tough catches. And then just a guy that understands how to run routes, get open. They might not all look the same, but he's gonna find a way. I think he has a great feel for it.
Hey, Trevor. We know that you're a guy who can throw it from the pocket, but we saw a lot of times tonight that you were getting the rollouts, the boots, the waggles. Are those play designs that really make you feel comfortable and make you feel like you have a chance to have big success on the ground or through the air?
For sure. I think that's one of the things that I think I do well. Is getting on the move outside of the pocket, making plays, extending plays, but also designed nakeds, boots, whatever you want to call them. I think that's something that I do well and that all of us do well. The receivers up front, tight ends, all those guys. So I think it's something that we're going to keep building off of.
Trevor, I know we asked you about it over here. I know we asked you about it on Monday, but seeing Travis back out there, knowing obviously he's coming off an injury, but knowing he wants to go 100%, emotions for you seeing him back on the field tonight?
Yeah, it's just great to see him back out there. Obviously, it's been a long time since he's played. He's had a rough year. Just you look at last year wasn't the easiest year for anyone, but then on top of that, he's hurt and rehabbing and not really as much a part of the team as you'd like to be in your rookie season. So I know that was tough for him. But just seeing how he's fought back and rehabbed really hard to get back and be 100%, and I think he looks great. Obviously, he's still kind of getting back in the, I guess, rhythm of things because he hasn't played in so long. But just to see the plays he made tonight, I mean, the catch he made, ran a great route, catch he made on the sideline, cut it up the field. I mean, he had some great plays. He's going to help us a lot.
Trevor, working through camp and all that leading to this first game and getting on the drive there, opening up the game the first quarter or whatever it was, is there anything that you applied there that helped the offense go well that you've been working on through camp that you sort of see come to fruition there during your efforts there?
You talking about? You say the first drive?
Well, just the first quarter in general.
Okay.
Something out there that you guys executed that you had been working through camp to concentrate on as a focus.
I mean, there's a lot of things you work on. I mean, so many details every day, corrections from practice, all those things. But I think just you could see the communication just that we've had through camp has been great with all the skill guys up front too, but specifically in the passing game, all the skill guys we've communicated really well. So I think you kind of see that we're getting more and more in sync, and I got a feel for when guys are going to slow down in a window or all those things. So I think you saw that tonight, and like I said, there's always going to be things that where you watch it and you're like, hey, I want you to do this, or I was expecting this, and you correct it. But I thought tonight we were on the same page for the most part.
Apologies if this has been asked, but considering it's the first time you guys were together, the cleanness of sort of all the operational stuff, no penalties, everything seemed to work right. I mean, was that impressive, just considering it's the first time?
Yeah, that's great. I mean, that's the first step is you can't shoot yourself in the foot, I thought Coach did a great job getting the calls in and out of the huddle, and then there's always going to be times when you're kind of behind the play clock and you got to speed up. And I thought throughout camp we've done a good job of working that and guys getting to their spot quick and being able to line up and go when we need to, because you're going to have to be able to do that. So tonight we had a couple of those that we had to do and execute, and ended up having a positive play. And then no false starts, holds, any of that stuff. That's huge. You can't hurt yourself.
Trevor, a couple of throws sailed on you in the first possession, and after the big one to Zay, and then didn't move the ball after the fumble. But on that last possession, everything seemed to click perfectly. Was there something you guys talked about on the sidelines before you got that last shot?
Not really. I mean, I had I missed Zay over the middle. I guess that was probably the first one that sailed. missed him over the middle, just probably a foot too high. You know, we talked about if I did a great job adjusting his route, all that. So that was good to see. Just missed him, and then a couple things down in the red zone. You know, we had Evan, I think, down there on one I threw to Laquan down low on the goal line. Probably could have hit him in the back of the end zone. So a couple little things I missed, but just clean those up. And obviously that 3 and out we want to eliminate. You get the ball in the 25 or 30 or whatever it was, and you want to be able to punch it in from there. And I think that's probably the biggest thing of where we stalled out, where we want to correct that is let's at least get down there tighter. You know, let's get a touchdown there when we already got the ball plus 30. So other than that, you know, finish strong like we talked about earlier.
And I know in preseason games, a lot of coaches will tend to go for that 4th down play instead of taking the field goal. But do you think during the season, do you hope Doug gambles on those situations?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's it just depends on the game, the score, the situation, all those things play into it. I know he's the type of guy that will if need be. So, and that's obviously great if you have that trust in one another, where he trusts us to go get it and we trust him to call it in that situation. But it just depends on the game. You know, if a field goal is going to work and that's what you need to secure those 3 points, do it. But if we're playing really well, then you know we'll see where it goes. So I think it depends on the game and the situation.
Trevor, I know the coaches make the final decision, but for next week, what are you anticipating as far as play time is concerned?
Yeah, I try not to anticipate too much. You know, just kind of prepare the same way, be ready to play the whole game. You know, that's what I did this week. I prepared, you know, the call sheet, the way I prepared myself, my communication with Coach Pederson and Press and Coach McCoy, all of them was just preparing everything like I'm going to play the whole game. Like we had more ammo than we needed because we only played a quarter, but still, I think that's good practice for everyone to prepare that way. So I'm going to do the same thing, and whether it's a quarter, 2 quarters, 3 quarters, whatever it is next week, you know, we'll be ready to go and just similar to tonight, let's just execute, be clean, and feel good about it when you come out of it.
Trevor, back here, sorry. The offensive line seemed to give you some good protection today, especially on that first play throw to Zay. You had a lot of time to see that play develop. How do you think they're performing? Kind of a new look offensive line for you, and specifically Luke Fortner as well.
And they did a great job. Really all camp, they've done a really good job just communicating. Obviously got a rookie center, so he's done a phenomenal job of just learning the system, really smart guy. So he's done a great job there. Then to have, like I've said before, the Sheriff and Shally on both sides to help him out, 2 guys that have played a lot of football, that helps. And I think just that whole group is really close, and you can see it in the way they play, they communicate. And tonight just really clean. Obviously, as this goes on and we start the regular season, you're going to see more complex game plans from the defense. In preseason, it's usually pretty vanilla, but still just to see those guys protect well. In a lot of known passing situations, you're going to get guys' best rushes and held up great. So it's good to see.
Hey, Trevor, not really specific to tonight's game, but how difficult has it been, or has it been difficult at all for you to learn this brand new system coming in this season as opposed to last year?
I mean, shoot, at this point, I feel obviously great with it, but I would say at first, obviously, there's little things that, you know, don't, I guess, come easy when you're learning the offense, but that was back in the, you know, spring when you're learning it. So we had plenty of time. I think the way that we installed it was great, you know, installed everything multiple times throughout different phases of OTAs and then into camp. So at that point, we'd have seen everything 3 or 4 times. So they did a great job planning it from that standpoint, but just, yeah, I mean, I tried to get on it really early, so by the time definitely camp, I mean OTAs, but especially camp comes around, I really know it well. And obviously there's little wrinkles you're changing, and now it's at the point where I'm adding more and more input of what I like, or, you know, what I want on the backside of this or whatever it is. So I think we're building it, and it's been great. I really love the system.
Earlier was mentioned the big play that you had to start the game, the 32-yard pass to Zay Jones. As a quarterback, how does it feel to be able to uncork a long one, you know, right out of the gate like that?
Yeah, it felt great. You know, we had that planned, and first play of the game, obviously taking a shot, you want to execute it, get some momentum. Did a great job. And Zay actually got kind of held coming out of the break, so it was good to see him fight through the contact and go make the catch. So it's always great when you can start that way, get some momentum, get on the ball, and get them on their heels right away. Yeah, thank you all. You have a good night.
only 4 penalties for 34 yards, 3 turnovers for the Jaguars offense, 2 for the Cleveland Browns offense, and time of possession in favor of the Jaguars, 32 minutes, 37 seconds. The Jags were 3 of 13 on third down, Cleveland 4 of 12. Jaguars had 6 more first downs than Cleveland, 21-15, Mike. There you go. Team
There
stats.
you go. All right, team stats. The guy we came to see throw the football, Trevor Lawrence, had a solid but not spectacular quarter of play, 6 of 12 for 95 yards. He did throw the touchdown to Evan Ingram and ended up with a quarterback rating of 104.5. Jake Luton with 92 yards passing and an interception, and C.J. Beathard 4 of 7 for 34 yards and a pick. On the other side, former Jaguar Joshua Dobbs led the way with 108 yards through the air and a passing TD. Travis Etienne, 9 carries for 23 yards with a long of 12, and Snoop Connor chipped in with another 21 yards on 7 carries. Jerome Ford, kind of the offensive star of the night, really, had 10 carries for 57 yards and a touchdown. Also caught 4 for 45 and a score as well. For the Jaguars, Zay Jones, leading receiver, got targeted 4 times, caught 2. Trevor missed him on 1. 2 for 47 was the leading yardage total, and Tim Jones had 5 for 42. A couple of fumble recoveries for the Jags tonight, Shaq Griffin and Chappelle Russell, and no sacks on the night for the team, and the Cleveland Browns did end up with 5 as the night played out, but Jags not getting to the opposing quarterback, at least not getting him on the ground tonight.
Mike, you mentioned earlier 6 of 12 for Trevor Lawrence tonight, 95 yards, a touchdown. Could have been maybe a few more that hit Fred, but overall, you like to see him moving around a little bit. He had the keeper for, 11 yards on that run, and a touchdown on his last throw of the night. Pretty good start. First outing for him in a preseason game this season.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good start. He came out sharp, crisp, especially on the first play of the game. What was that, a 32-yarder?
Yeah.
To Zay right there in the honey hole. I came back and missed him on the next play, high ball, but he kept his composure and made some pretty good throws. But I like the fact that they're moving him around, playing to his strengths, and hopefully we can see a lot more of it.
Yeah, they did that on the very first play with a controlled roll to the right. Great protection on that play. And you almost felt like Doug Pederson's like, you know what? I know what the hometown fans want. Let's take a shot
I've
here,
been listening
man.
to radio.
And
right.
I mean, honestly, I'm only half kidding here. If you had pulled them at that point, Trevor Lawrence, I would have been, you know what? I saw a glimpse, but that's what we wanted. Push the ball down the field, play with some pace, and, the throws he missed are throws he's going to make more often than not. So it's not like Cleveland did anything so spectacular to take it away from Trevor Lawrence tonight. I think, given the exact same conditions, he's going to complete 9, 10 out of 12 more often than not here, Fred.
Yeah, 8 of the 11 plays that they ran the opening drive for the offense were pass plays. So just echoing what you said, Coach, know what the people are coming. Right, you want to get him going. But again, I think he's gonna impress some people this year. I'm always rooting for our guys, but I do like Trevor, man. Just a humble kid with a great arm, amazing personality, and we can win with him.
That's a good sign. That's
the bottom
line.
line.
I like that. Let's come back. Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. Was that a little tease from you, Fred, there? Or no? This might be a tough one tonight in the preseason.
Are you serious?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll come back and see what you vote. In a 24-13 loss for the Jaguars to the Cleveland Browns. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the Kinetico difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in D.C., Los Angeles. Watch them win in Philly, Indy, Detroit, Nashville, New York, and Houston. When you fly nonstop from Jax, on airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and are a 50-yard dash from the terminal. Economy parking is just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com.
Jaguars Postgame is presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Final score, Browns 24, Jaguars 13 in preseason week 1. And it's time now for the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game voting. It's a very scientific method here. I get a vote, Mike gets a vote, Fred gets a vote and a half to break any deadlocks. What do you got, Mike?
Well, I think I'm gonna set up some drama here. All right, we'll let Fred be the tie-breaking vote if we need that.
All right.
Okay, but I'm gonna go outside the box on what I would do if I was the lone vote here. This is probably not the way I'd go, but I wanted to see Zay Jones show up and look good tonight, and he did average 23.5 yards on his 2 catches. Not his fault. Trevor missed him on another one. Would have had maybe 65 yards receiving tonight. Also, maybe could have had an opportunity if he sees him a little quicker in the corner of the end zone. But just not having his running mate out there, Christian Kirk, wanted to see Zay make a play or two that stood out, and he did that. So I'll give him the nod, JP.
This is tough tonight. 'Cause these preseason games are tough because the statistics are spread out.
Yeah.
There's like all three
you cannot
teams
vote for
play.
Jerome Ford.
Why not?
No, because it's the Jaguars.
Oh, yeah, you're right. He had a pretty good night though, for the Browns against the Jags' second-team defense. I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence. 6-12, 95 yards. Like we've talked about all show, they rolled him around. He threw a touchdown pass at the end on 4th down. Ran once just to show it. And, okay, I think he checked that box. So that's my vote. Fred.
I gotta follow you. I echo you and go with Trevor. Just seeing him out of the pocket, opening the game that way, starting fast. I'm sure the coaches mentioned that leading up to this game. The 11-yard run also. I thought he took command of the offense, getting them in and out of the huddle. Unlike Cleveland, we didn't see the penalties from the offense and false starts and all that other stuff. So I think with command, getting him out, he displayed his poise, showing some accuracy there. Couple big plays. Trevor is my vote.
That's a pretty good point because it's the first time he's in a game situation. Had Doug Pederson in his ear. Press Taylor is calling, giving it to Doug to call to him, and that's a lot of moving parts for the first time. And to handle that cleanly was pretty nice.
In all honesty, it should be unanimous, but I wanted to give at least the opportunity for some drama.
It's
there
an excellent
if Freddie
point.
wanted to go off the board. So.
It's an excellent point. So, Trevor Lawrence, the Jaguars Radio Network Player of the Game. And if you're looking for the MVP of the truck game, then look no further than Ford F-150. Loaded with impressive capabilities and designed to dominate work, play, and everything in between, this truck makes tough look easy. Your local Ford dealer, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Baptist Health Injury Report when we return. 24-13 final. Browns over the Jaguars. This is Jaguars Postgame on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Are your heating and cooling costs extremely high? Do you want to extend the lifespan of your heating and cooling system investment? If so, Florida Home Air Conditioning is ready to help you save some money. Schedule your annual AC or heating system tune-up today with Florida Home Air Conditioning for only $59. Florida Home Air Conditioning, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Call 855-FLA-HOME.
License number CMC 1250399, CFC 1430664, EC 130-08557.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic or circling the lot looking for a place to park? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to TIAA Bank Field is on the JTA Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 4 convenient locations around Jacksonville, including the Kings Avenue parking garage on the South Bank. Tickets start at just $10 and are available exclusively on the Token Transit mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
Your pet means the world to you, so Pet Paradise created a slice of paradise just for them. Pet Paradise is your complete pet health care destination with resort-style day camp, overnight boarding, professional grooming, and compassionate veterinary care from New Day, all located under one roof. Pet Paradise has over 50 locations open or under development to serve pet fanatics like you nationwide. Book today at petparadise.com, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Travel Camp RV, official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars, invites you to come shop their huge selection of inventory for your dream RV. With locations across the Southeast, you're sure to find them close by. Get value pricing on the top RV brands in the country, paired with the guaranteed best financing options available. You can also shop their inventory at travelcamp.com. Travel Camp RV has helped more families make more great memories in an RV since 1982. They're excited to add you to the Travel Camp RV family today.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else. Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Welcome back. It's Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. 24-13 the final. Browns over the Jaguars. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and Fred Taylor. And it's time for the Baptist Health Injury Report. Baptist Health changing healthcare for good. One notable tonight, Will Richardson Jr., who was playing left tackle at the time, I believe, went down with an ankle injury and did not come back in the game. That was the most notable for the Jaguars tonight that we remember. But, of course, there were a number of players on the do not dress list tonight that have been battling some things here or there. Most notably, Devin Lloyd has not played yet in a preseason game. First-round pick linebacker out of Utah. In the conditioning day before the first practice of training camp, suffered a hamstring issue. But has kind of worked his way back into some individual drills off to the side. Hasn't quite got back to teamwork, but it feels like next week is that week where, Fred, he might take that step, and then if things go well next week, you might see him in the game against Pittsburgh.
JP, hamstrings are that one injury that, you know, it's so mysterious. You never know. But because of his game and how he plays with his speed, agility, able to move sideline to sideline, those guys, fast guys like that, they're going to always have some sort of hamstring issues. So, in my opinion, I suggest that no matter how good he feels, just get out there. Understand that you have a hamstring. Understand it's the preseason. Not necessarily do the bare minimum, right? But maybe in terms of plays or reps, get in, get out. You know, try not to tweak that thing again because they're going to depend on him. Special teams is coming up. Those young guys, they have a spot for him right there. They also want to see how well he's going to mesh and gel with the first unit defensive guys because he's also going to be one of those guys they're going to need in the sub packages. So I wouldn't press it too much with him.
So is that a tougher trick for a young player to know how to do that? Because your only instinct, I would guess, in college was to go all out all the time. and you may not know how to pull back and not do that. There's always that instinct, right? Or
yeah, it is.
Guys know
That's
how to
why.
do that.
That's why I say, for me personally, the hamstrings. I mean, that's from my growing off the bone, but that let me know what I was dealing with. Hamstrings are just tricky because it can feel great, and you think you're ready to go, but as soon as you burst, everything's clenching and tightening up, and now here you go again, strain or pull. So it's tough for even the training staff. They just got to be smart, not overstretch it, and just try to get out there, go as you can go. If you feel anything, shut it down. That's the smartest he could do, is if he feels anything, just immediately shut it down, alert the training staff, and get back to treatment.
I think the one guy that missed tonight because of injury that needs to get back on that field as quickly as possible is Laviska Shenault, right? Most of these other guys have a defined role or know they're going to have a role. We don't have a defined role necessarily yet for James Robinson, but we know he's going to be a part of this team, part of this offense. Laviska's kind of in a weird spot right now. You know, opportunity is there. They're trying to use him in some different spots, Fred, as a return guy, just to find value in him. And right now he's just losing a lot of valuable reps in this offense. And I think ultimately he'll be on this 53-man roster, but what size his role is may be determined over the next few weeks.
Yeah, if he's not out there, they don't know. You have a new staff, you know, they're going to depend on the guys that are out there, you know, but I'm sure they have some plays scripted up for him that they can use him as a huge asset, especially with his versatility in the run game, you know, in the pass game. Injury's not on his side. I agree with you, Mike, that he has to hurry back. But I don't know what he's dealing with.
Right.
I haven't.
Sure.
But whatever it is, hopefully they're smart about it. But certainly he does need to get out there and define how he'll be used this year.
Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Jaguars radio network. Jaguars postgame after a Jaguars loss in preseason week 1, 24-13 to the Cleveland Browns. We're back with our final thoughts in just a moment. It's Jaguars postgame on the Jaguars Radio Network.
Jaguars fans, here's a great way to pay with pride wherever you go. Exclusively from TIAA Bank, the Jacksonville Jaguars Visa debit card comes with a fierce look and fantastic features, along with the convenience to make purchases online or at millions of locations worldwide. And it's yours, free, when you open a Yield Pledge checking account. Order yours today. Visit TIAABank.com/JagsCard. TIAA Bank is a division of TIAA, FSB, member FDIC, and the official bank of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
At Farah & Farah, we represent people from all walks of life in matters involving personal injury cases. It doesn't matter how much money you have. It doesn't matter which neighborhood you call home, because everyone deserves justice, dignity, and respect. And remember, when it comes to compensation, you only get one shot. Make it count. Call Farah & Farah at 800-500-5555. Jacksonville.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, ensuring those who serve.
Everyone circle up. I know it looks rough out there. Sure, we're down 24-6, but we came here to play differently. We need a game changer. Something like Ring Central, the business phone system that's more than a phone. I want you to communicate like you can talk to anyone, anywhere, all from the same app. Now get out there and play like you're using Ring Central.
Ring Central. Simpler communications.
Jaguars postgame presented by Florida Home AC. Call Florida Home AC today, official air conditioning partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I know firsthand. You call these guys, they come out there quick, they assess the situation, Fred, and they get the job done. They get your air conditioning back on. They help me out in the summer, too.
It's the summer. They better, but I trust you.
They're fantastic.
I need to get their contact.
Yeah, this is not the time. There's not many good times a year to lose your AC, but certainly not this time of year.
Seriously, though. What happens with the power surges, through the storm strike, lightning strikes? I'm dealing with that now. So if you got a contact, I need to talk to him.
I think we can make that happen, Fred.
All right.
Yes,
okay.
Absolutely. They're the place to go, for sure.
Right.
The 50-50 raffle is presented by the Duval Motor Company, and during every home game, the Jags Foundation runs the 50-50 jackpot. One lucky fan has a chance to win half the jackpot. The other half benefits the Jaguars Foundation programs that positively impact our community. Jaguars5050.com. You can actually buy them anywhere in the state of Florida Thursday before a Sunday home game that opens up. So the number goes up as the week goes along. The winning number tonight, 941-612-378. 941-612-378. The winner takes home just over $5,100 tonight in the 50-50 raffle. That's pretty good. Okay, next week, the Pittsburgh Steelers coming in. Fred has a history with this organization, of course. It is the preseason. We get that. But you would expect the starters maybe to go a little bit deeper in this game in preseason week 2, Fred.
Of course. Hey, we were just at Steelers camp doing some stuff with the pivot. They look pretty good. They fly around. They were hitting.
Who's the quarterback?
I don't know those guys. I mean, I don't know. But they were flying around. Okay. I can say that much. Okay. They were live, and they were really hitting, and it was exciting. Live goal line, live team, coaches flying around, hooting and hollering. So they're ready to play, right? But these guys are ready to play too. And you got to look forward to this matchup regardless of the time of the year. And it was a team that I always got excited for. So hopefully the starters can play. I think Tony said maybe a half or something, right? I think Baselli said
by that at all.
He would expect them to at least play a half and then kind of lay off the throttle a bit for Atlanta, at the end there. And I agree with that, especially against the defense with the background of the Steelers. And they'll get some different looks. They go from a 4-down front to a 3-down front, and that'll be challenging for the guys. But they're going to need to see that to make sure they're all on the same page.
And by the way, the Jaguars do have 2 head-to-head practices against the Falcons before that final preseason game. So they'll be up in Flowery Branch. No need to put them out there.
Correct.
So in theory, you're going to have a lot of work against some other teams coming up for your first-team guys.
Yeah, this could be like the used to treat the third preseason game when you had 4, when you play just that first series into the second half just to get that sense of resetting at halftime and all that. And just, hopefully they come out of it unscathed with injury. It is a pretty good test. Another football team that's, got a nice roster and it's going to challenge you here. And I would expect Pittsburgh to be playing their guys next week. We didn't see the full complement of Cleveland Browns tonight. Everything you hear, Trubisky's got a pretty firm grip on that job, which, by the way, may not be a downgrade based on where Roethlisberger was at the end of his career. So this is a team that definitely thinks they're headed to the postseason.
Fred, well done. Way to go. It was nice working on the video boards with you tonight. We enjoy our pregame visit, of course. And then here we are back on postgame again, Fred.
Back at it, man. Always excited. I love being in Jacksonville, obviously, but I love being on here with y'all. I learn a lot. And I don't take that lightly. I really mean that. Was it year 8, 9?
Is it that long?
I think it's somewhere around there.
Really?
I want to say it's like 8, I think.
Yeah, I think it's
this
close
is 9
to
for
8.
me, and I think you weren't on the first year.
Yeah.
That I was here, so it sounds about right.
That's about right.
At least 7, probably 8, I'm guessing.
Yeah, but I told JP, Mike, and they have this one segment on the show I give people their flowers.
On the pivot, you're talking
on the
about.
pivot, right?
Yes.
On the podcast, because naturally that's just, I don't know, that's just how I am. Like, I love people. But I told JP, you guys have helped me get to that point. Because if I didn't do this, I definitely wouldn't be doing that.
Wow.
Bro,
but, you're the GOAT, man.
Yeah. No, it's the truth.
I hear you.
I'm being honest. No, I am being 100% honest that you guys definitely put me in position to be there. Because I wasn't going to do this radio stuff.
Well, if we help you in some small way, you earned your way into the pride of the Jaguars. You've got your stature. You've got your knowledge. JP, Fred doesn't throw me through a wall when I try to debate running backs with him. All right? I'm going to try to tell Fred
I saw that
what
look
I saw
tonight,
from
though.
a running back, and he's like very calm about it. He's like, well, let me tell you what really happened out there.
Because I had to hear it. Early on in my career, they said, "Oh, this kid is a bust." So Coughlin wanted me to just pound up in there, and run through, break tackles all the time. I was a big guy, but that was never my style of play. So I just say, let it happen naturally, and we'll see what the young man gives us. But your eye's your eye, my eye's my eye. We'll see what it turns out to later in the season.
I want to see what Fred sees. How about that? I'm in with that. I'm following him. I'm following that guy, the guy that's on the wall.
Any two schlubs could have taught you a couple of things about radio, man. But you're the man. You're killing.
You guys
it.
are my
You
guys. You guys are my guys.
Likewise.
We love having you, and we're glad you're back with us, of course, Fred. We'll talk to you again next week.
Let's do it.
That's Fred Taylor, and for those on our flagship station, 1010XL in Jacksonville, stick around. The Scoreboard Show is next. We're going to take phone calls, Mike, you and I.
Let's do it.
Coming up in the next hour or so. And for those on the network outside of Jacksonville, join us on our social channels, Jaguars Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. VP of Production, Patrick Cavanaugh. Executive Producer, Dave DeCandis. Manager of Radio, Joe Fortunato. Linda Fortunato is our studio producer. Trent Padilla, Brent Reber, Gabby Dalton, Tony Smith, our entire crew for Fred Taylor and Mike Dempsey. I'm JP Shadrick saying good night. Final score, Browns 24, Jaguars 13 on the Jaguars Radio Network.
The Jaguars are future-focused. Welcome to the Jaguars Scoreboard Show. This is your chance, Jaguars fans, to sound off about today's game. The Jaguars Scoreboard Show is brought to you by Farah and Farah, Baptist Health, and by TIAA Bank. Now, waiting to hear from you. Here are Mike Dempsey, Bucky Brooks, and JP Shadrick.
Welcome into the Scoreboard Show. Final score 24-13. Browns over the Jaguars. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey. Bucky Brooks was on television duty tonight. He's got an early departure tomorrow. He's off to take a nap. So,
man, look.
I mean, that guy is all over the place.
Bro, I don't even have to get up tomorrow, and I'm falling out. But, yeah, Bucky's got a 5 a.m. flight to the West Coast. No rest for the weary, but look forward to having him be a big part of the broadcast this year. He does a terrific job. He's done it on the sideline, did it on TV tonight. Been a great part of the postgame for the last several years, so we'll have plenty of opportunities with Bucky.
355 NFL won the number, 355-6351. If you're new to the program, we take calls and we listen. Well, tonight, there's some positive things to talk about. It's preseason week 1. The starters got their first action tonight, Mike. Trevor Lawrence took some snaps. He threw some passes, completed half of them, threw a touchdown.
Had a quarterback rating over 100.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll take it.
I'm not hating on Trevor's game at all tonight.
No.
I'm not trying to hate on Travis Etienne's either. And I know what Fred's saying. Sometimes you'll give up the 2 or 3 plays where you lose yards because you know in your mind, like, I can beat this guy. I can shake him. And if I do, even if I'm 4 yards deep in the backfield, I can bust this thing for 70. And, so he's a different type back. I just thought there were 1 or 2 occasions, like when he lost 6 tonight, I thought he was, sometimes you got to realize, all right, I just got to pop it up in there and take my loss of 2.
Well, there was another one where he had the spin off left tackle and then made a cut once he got outside and actually got some yardage.
Look,
and
he's
that was
going to make plays.
Pretty good.
Who am I to tell Travis Etienne how to run? That's his style. It's what he's been doing. I'm just, I would have liked to. Overall, he started off really well. You had that 12-yard run early, had the nice catch to convert a 3rd down, and, just ended up a little on the side with 9 for 23. But, look, he'll have play over the course of a full game. First of all, he's not going to be on that pace, not going to carry 35, 36 times. But if you're getting him 20 carries or, let's say, 20, 21 touches, he's going to bust you off some plays now. There's no question about it. And you'll live with the occasional loss of yardage because what he gives you on the other side is a big deal, and you need that. I just thought there was a little much of that. I bet when they watch the film with him, they'll probably say, hey, look, we get it. You're going to try to rip off some long ones. We want you to do that, but one or two instances here, you probably just should have limited it.
I think there was one. It was early, obviously. That's when he played. But he ran over right guard, right tackle, broke a tackle at the second level, ran over a defender at the end of it. That was a nice physical run by him, I thought.
Oh, I'm not saying he can't do that.
I'm not saying he weren't.
It's more like
he's got both in his arsenal.
And look, we want him to shake people, right? We were talking about that in the pregame, right?
Too much contact this week in practice.
Right, exactly. So, and he's going to do that, and they're going to try to get him in space. And it's just, there's times to do that. Even Freddie T. Now, Fred would hesitate, and he'd pick his hole, and he'd hop around, and he had such a unique style to watch. But even Fred would probably admit to you, hey, there were certain times, man, you just got to pop it up in there. Not as often as other backs, because that's what made him great, right? His willingness to be patient and let it develop, and then when the hole was there, I think the thing that Etienne has that Fred had, and we'll see if it ends up being in the same class, is that burst. When it's time to go from 0 to 60, you're not wondering, can he get there, because he's gone in that regard. A couple of times he was just surrounded tonight, and I thought, limit the damage, but whatever. That's a small aside.
What was Fred's 40 to 4.28? Is that right? Somewhere in that ballpark?
4.29. Fred's probably like texting us right now. It's 4.27. How dare you?
So I'm looking at Etienne's 40 was 4.31, 4.33 in a couple of attempts. So
pretty good.
All right.
I mean, that's plenty.
Not many going to catch that guy.
Right, that's
I'll
plenty.
say that.
So Trevor had a good showing. Travis Etienne, I thought, had some flash, right?
And you mentioned it in the previous show. I mean, Zay Jones had 2 catches, but showed a little bit of what he can be in this offense. They didn't have their full arsenal of weapons tonight with Christian Kirk down. I liked your point earlier. Okay, he still made a nice catch on the opening play. Made another catch later in the game. There was one a little high over the middle, just out of his hands. And then the one in the back left corner of the end zone that he just couldn't bring in. It would have been a spectacular catch. Just wasn't able to haul that one in.
He created opportunities for his quarterback tonight.
Absolutely.
And Trevor missed him on one probably should have been a 3 for 4. That one in the corner of the end zone is not a high percentage likelihood. But hey, man, you hear Zay Jones, he's going to be the field stretcher. He's going to be the X. That's where, he's a 4-4 guy, which is, again, is plenty fast, right? I mean, if you know how to play football, not everybody who's a deep threat is a 4-2 something, but I wanted to see more of the full route tree, and we got, even on the 4 targets tonight, we got different kinds of looks. You had the out that he caught, you had the crossing pattern that Trevor missed him on, you had the corner route, and then you had the go route on the opening play, which, again, I just loved it. I thought, tip of the cap, like, how many times have we been asking for this in the history of Jaguar football? First play of the preseason, just take a shot and see what happens. And it was well designed, it was well blocked, and you got a one-on-one with the guy you were looking to do. Trevor delivered a good ball. Zay Jones, kind of outbodied the defensive back. So, not bad. Again, small sample, but we're looking for some positives here. We found a few.
So that's on offense. We'll get to defense coming up as the next hour goes along, next 40 minutes or so. We are off and running. The phone lines are open. 904-355-NFL1. 355-6351. Your calls when we return. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in D.C., Los Angeles. Watch them win in Philly, Indy, Detroit, Nashville, New York, and Houston. When you fly nonstop from Jax, on-airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and or a 50-yard dash from the terminal. Economy parking is just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com.
Committed to the team. Committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
Your pet means the world to you, so Pet Paradise created a slice of paradise just for them. Pet Paradise is your complete pet health care destination with resort-style day camp, overnight boarding, professional grooming, and compassionate veterinary care from New Day, all located under one roof. Pet Paradise has over 50 locations open or under development to serve pet fanatics like you nationwide. Book today at PetParadise.com, the official pet care provider of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Brooks Rehabilitation has more than 50 years of experience serving the North Florida community with cutting-edge rehabilitation care, ranging from joint replacements, sports injuries, and balance issues, to traumatic brain injuries, spinal cord injuries, and strokes. Their highly trained clinical teams span across their system of care to include inpatient, outpatient, skilled nursing, assisted living and memory care, home health, and adaptive community programs. Learn more at brooksrehab.org. Brooks is proud to be the rehabilitation provider for the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
And welcome back to Scoreboard Show 355 NFL1, the number 355-6351. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey, and your calls. What you got, Mike?
Who else would we have? Now, we weren't taking calls last week because of the setup that we had, right? We had a lone producer back in Jacksonville, but this guy even got shouted out by Bucky Brooks.
He did.
On the call-in show last week. Our man Sakib is going to bat leadoff at 355-6351. Sakib, good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm good. Damn, that's pretty good. I got shut out by Bucky. Man, I wish I could have heard that. But hey, let me say this: it's great to have football back. I cannot wait till the Week 1 game against Washington, and I'm so happy for Tony Baselli also because I cried during that last week when we had that. And I just want to ask you guys this. The backups did not look so good. I understand they're the backups, but if anybody gets hurt on our starters, are we really in trouble on defense? Because our backups looked really, really bad. Can you tell me, if we can do anything the next couple of weeks to get that together or what? Because I'm kind of concerned about it. That side.
Sakib, I think that's a great observation. By the way, you could have heard Bucky say that last week if you had been up with us until 1 in the morning on a Thursday night. No reason you couldn't have heard that.
It's a free radio station. It's fine.
However, look, we've been focusing on the positive because we so much, I think, wanted to see the first team offense have some success, go out there. And you didn't get Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt and Amari Cooper, but despite that, the first team defense did well. So that's been the focus. But there's no question, Sakib, that they've got to be doing a little soul searching right now with these. It's one thing to lose the game as the back. It's another thing to be in total control. Backups come in, and then poof, it all disappears. And really, it turned on the interception return for the touchdown because who knows? It was 13-7 at that point, and the Jags are driving a little bit, and Martin Emerson Jr. wrestled that ball away. It's a heck of a play, and what an amazing stiff arm. Tony Baselli was pointing that out on the broadcast, so he got Snoop Connor and took it to the house. But, yes, as of right now, here's what you can do. The Jags have the number one waiver priority. So as guys get released.
They do.
Right?
Well, 3 weeks into the season, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So, throughout the rest of training camp and early in the season, I would not feel comfortable if I am, let's say, player 46 to 53 on this roster based on what we've seen so far. Now, granted, it's preseason games, but we've been talking about that for years. And JP, oftentimes what you see is a harbinger of what's to come. Not always, but I feel pretty good about the first-teamers that they've got on both sides of the football. I thought the protection was pretty decent for Trevor Lawrence tonight, although the top 2 pass rushers weren't there for Cleveland. Let's see what it looks like defensively when they get all their guys with Devin Lloyd in the mix there as well. But, if one of your frontline guys goes down at a key spot, I mean, they'll probably have a few solid backups that you can get by with. But right now, I think that's what Jaguar fans, if there's one concern, it's like, man, if we do get any kind of significant injuries or 2 or 3 guys at the same time, we could be in big trouble.
Last week it was run fits from the linebackers, issues. They had a bunch of guys get out the gate and go for big yardage. You said it turned on the interception return. I thought it turned on the 4th play of the second-team defense when Ford goes up the middle for 41 yards on him.
It could be that too, but at least
that was the one where it's like, oh, here we go again.
But Beathard started to get a couple of first downs. It looked like maybe they'd answer, right? So it's 13-7, and at that point it was like the offense kind of just was non-existent from that point on. So
either way.
Look, Sakib's not the only one. This is a big topic on social media tonight. Like, oh my gosh, there is not much depth. And look, Trent Baalke's got to earn his money here in the rest of the preseason and into the early part of the season. Use that waiver priority. We harped on there are a couple of occasions last year when they had it and they didn't take advantage of it, and maybe that wouldn't have turned around a 3-win season, but I think they need to be a little bit more aggressive this year in that department.
In theory, though.
Well, if the right guys present themselves.
Sure, but like you said, 1 or 2 guys may not make that huge of a difference in the waiver wire. It might help, but to build that kind of depth on a team takes a long time, right?
Right. Well, that's part of it
takes
too, right?
You're
not talking about you're not claiming guys that are going to bump your starters to the bench.
Yeah.
But this team, look, a team that's no surprise, it should be that a team that's won 4 games in 2 years doesn't have quality depth, right? So they spent a lot of money to beef up their front line, the starting lineup.
Yes.
And so,
they feel like they can compete now, and it's starting to show a little bit.
If those guys stay healthy, they feel like they can compete. Now, they probably need a few more pieces even in that group to take them to the level of a playoff contender. And you've got to get, you got to start hitting. Like we talked about in the pregame, JP, you look at that draft from last year. This is what you're going to need to have, where you draft 5 guys in Trevor Lawrence, Travis Etienne, Tyson Campbell, Walker Little, Andre Sisco, who all may be by their second year starters for your team, and you're thinking those are long-term foundational pieces. They need to string together 3 or 4 drafts like that, and maybe they have another one this year with Fortner already in the lineup. We'll see what happens with Muma. They didn't have quite as much draft capital, but they ended up with the 2 first-round guys everybody's excited about, even though we haven't seen Devin Lloyd in this environment yet in the preseason. But, that last year's draft, Trevor Lawrence continuing to develop to be the true franchise quarterback we think he can be, and stack 1 or 2 more drafts and free agent classes together, and then you put yourself in a position to say, no excuses, let's go for the brass ring. I mean, that's football, right? It's not a 10-year build anymore in the NFL, and but the Jags are coming from rock bottom. Number 1 pick earned 2 years in a row, so it's not going to happen overnight that you're going to have that quality depth.
I mean, I know there's never been a ring around here, but I would hope that if they finally get to that ring, that it's not a brass one. That's just me. I mean, I don't know. Not beggars
you
can't
get the
be
idea.
choosers. You know what I
I'm
mean?
an old school merry-go-round guy, JP. Big fan of the merry-go-round. By the way, I've never been on a merry-go-round that actually had a brass ring on it. My mom used to be on because that was you'd be on a merry-go-round. They'd have a brass ring hanging as a prize.
Oh,
and so as your horse is going up and down, you're trying to grab the brass ring.
I did not know that.
Ultimate prize.
When in Rome. How about that?
Now you know.
That's amazing. Let's come back.
See what happens when you stay up with us.
355 NFL1 if you'd like to get in on this conversation. 355-6351. Recapping the Jags' loss to the Browns. This is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, Waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else.
Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the kinetical difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Decisions are a part of our everyday life. Whether you're building a football team or building your education, your success is built on the decisions you make. So choosing J-Tech as your career training destination should be a no-brainer. With small class sizes, dedicated instructors, job placement assistance, and financial aid available for those who qualify, J-Tech is praised as a good choice by our graduates. Learn how you can build your career the right way by visiting jtech.org for more information.
At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, one taste and you're hitting refresh now, palm trees swaying now, letting loose now, busting a move now, cranking up the beats now, hands in the air now, feeling free now, smiling wider now, seeing brighter now. You're on Tropic Time now. At Tropical Smoothie Cafe, we believe everyone needs a little getaway. That's why we put a little sunshine into our fresh smoothies, wraps, and flatbreads. Can you feel it? You're on Tropic Time now at Tropical Smoothie Cafe.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show continues right now.
And welcome back to the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick with Mike Dempsey after a Jaguars loss to the Cleveland Browns, 24-13. 355 NFL 1, the number 355-6351. The phone lines are starting to pile up. What do you
Yes, let's find out what's on their minds. JP, Robert in Keystone is next up here on the Scoreboard Show. Hey, Robert, how are you?
Hey, guys, I'm doing really good. I enjoy the show. I just want to say I really have been impressed with Doug Pederson. I really feel like the coaching staff this year, they have a plan, and they're working that plan. I would have liked to have seen a little bit less turnovers tonight because I really wanted them to get in some fourth down situation to settle that kicking situation, maybe give the kickers some more opportunities. But I wanted to know how you guys felt. If there was one thing in coaching that you guys would maybe make a suggestion, what would it be?
Okay.
Well, each kicker had a field goal opportunity.
And they were short. Like last week, they didn't drive the ball down. Like this time they stalled and they ended up having short kicks.
Hey, Ryan, I know it's the Hall of Fame game, but Mr. Santoso, we're going to try you from 60. Good luck.
On a wet field in the rain.
Right, with wind.
Yeah, good luck.
Uphill both ways.
And you know, you almost made it. What would be one thing I would do, Coach? Like, far be it from me to say, well, I guess I second guess everybody. Who am I kidding? Right? I mean, yes.
You do that every Monday through Friday.
Every day. Literally every day. But, no, I have been talking about this, that I think we've got to give Doug Pederson the benefit of the doubt until proven otherwise, right? We've had so much mediocrity on the coaching staff for years and years and years, you know, and even look, we love Doug Marrone. He was a nice guy. He had a great run in 2017, but he was not near the upper echelon of NFL head coaches. Doug Pederson can be that guy. Super Bowl ring, 3 playoff appearances. If he can take this team and turn it around with the raw material, he's got 16. That's the guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'll say this. I did like the RPO move, so I want to see that incorporated more into the offense, whether that's a Doug Pederson call or a Press Taylor call or kind of a collaborative thing.
I don't want to see it again in the preseason.
No, but
it's
I
already
like
out there.
that they threw it out there, and you better be game planning for this.
One time.
As Fred said, a lot of things you can pull up. You can run crossing routes deep down the field. You can obviously give it to your back. You can take it yourself if you're reading that defensive end crashing down to try to stop the running back. There are a lot of different permutations to it. You can't play scared in today's NFL, in any era's NFL. And Trevor Lawrence has within him the ability to help this team run it for 30, 40 yards a week. Not every single, but he can. Could Trevor Lawrence average 30 yards rushing on this team? I don't see any reason why he couldn't. Honestly, he's got that kind of athleticism. He's got sneaky speed. If he gets a crease, he can really bust one. He's not necessarily the greatest lateral quickness, but I like that. I like the coaching staff showing you a little something.
This is that time of year for that, right? I mean, we've seen preseason fake punts before, just to put it on there, right?
Right.
Same kind of idea. Hey, we
Right.
can do this. Maybe it gives somebody an extra piece of film to watch later in the season, whatever, but it's not a bad thing to show something out there.
We all remember the Philly special, man. I mean, it's not like Doug Pederson's afraid to call something in a big situation, right? So I think you'll see some of that. I'm curious to see, JP, what they do with Jamal Agnew. We talk about ETN's got that take it to the house speed. We think Kirk and Zay Jones can be field stretchers, but Agnew as much as I'd love for him to be able to concentrate on his primary job, he may just force their hand. He may be turning into that guy. Based on a couple of the observers out of practice on one day in one-on-ones, I said there was really not a defensive back that could handle him.
He can run, man.
He can run. He's low to the ground, and he's shifty, and I don't want to give him 10 touches a game, but 2 or 3 well-placed touches with maybe a half dozen snaps where the other times he's acting as a decoy. So we're not going to see all that in the preseason. So I think
I could see a motion sweep deal, get him wide, and then all
you
of a sudden
you could run motion sweep with an RPO with ETN, and you could come back all the way back to the other side of the field and throw it to Agnew. I mean, that's just
Let's go.
One
now
permutation.
We're drawing plays up in the sand. I love it.
Why not? There's no consequence. Power play calling.
I love that
whatsoever.
Let's go.
So
double reverse pass, flea flicker.
The other thing too, we're seeing very vanilla. As you often do in the preseason. I think Mike Caldwell's going to have some really fun blitz packages.
That's where he came from. It's what Charles Davis was talking about in the pregame.
Sure.
Remember where he came from. That's what Todd Bowles used to do all the time.
And, you've got a couple of defensive backs that you think could be good blitzers. You've got guys like Arden Key and Smoot. You can run games up front with them on third down.
Devin Lloyd could bring it if he needs to.
And hopefully Trayvon Walker continues to just be kind of a kinetic force of nature, just kind of wrecking stuff up front. And, we're not going to see the best of Trayvon Walker, I don't think, for a couple of years, by year 3 when he refines his game a little bit.
Give it a year, get some moves. More
in the
than
meantime,
just the power.
though,
okay,
the guy's going to be high energy disruptor, which will probably, looking at just the way he's been in the backfield, I think this guy will probably I'm looking at least 8 sacks now as a rookie. I think he can get. Well, I mean, that's
Isn't that
one
the
every
rookie
other
sack record for the Jags. That's
yeah,
8,
but
right?
I think he can get, just watching how active he is in just a couple of quarters of play. I think he's going to have a chance to do. Maybe I'm underestimating him even.
We'll come back in a moment. More of your calls, 355-NFL1, 355-6351 after a Jaguars loss in preseason week 1. It's the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
Decisions are a part of our everyday life. Whether you're building a football team or building your education, your success is built on the decisions you make. So choosing JTech as your career training destination should be a no-brainer. With small class sizes, dedicated instructors, job placement assistance, and financial aid available for those who qualify, JTech is praised as a good choice by our graduates. Learn how you can build your career the right way by visiting jtech.org for more information.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
When it comes to water, choose our team, the winning team. Choose CGC Water Treatment. CGC Water Treatment works, and it works for DG too. Former Jags QB, David Garrard.
If you're not filtering your water, you are the filter. Don't be the filter. Discover the kinetical difference.
Call CGC Water Treatment at 844-CGC-JAGS or visit cgcwater.com. CGC Water Treatment are proud partners of the Jacksonville Jaguars and your local independent Kinetico dealers.
Hey Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic or circling the lot looking for a place to park? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to TIAA Bank Field is on the JTA Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 4 convenient locations around Jacksonville, including the Kings Avenue parking garage on the South Bank. Tickets start at just $10 and are available exclusively on the Token Transit mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
Touchdown at Jaguars away games when you fly nonstop from Jacksonville International Airport. Join the Jaguars in D.C., Los Angeles. Watch them win in Philly, Indy, Detroit, Nashville, New York, and Houston. When you fly nonstop from Jax, on airport parking will punt the stress from your travel itinerary. Garage facilities offer defensive coverage from the weather and are a 50-yard dash from the terminal. Economy parking is just $6 a day. To learn more about nonstop flights and on-airport parking, visit flyjax.com.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Scoreboard Show.
Scoreboard.
Nah. Didn't go the right way tonight. 24-13, Browns over the Jags. Yes, Mike.
Scoreboard early second quarter.
First team scoreboard.
Right, 13-0. So there you go.
After that, not so much. But starters looked okay. It was fine. It's a good start.
It's not one that you're going to be kicking yourself all weekend. Like, what is going on with this team? I feel encouraged, you know.
You're not ready to sink your teeth into a Monday. Like, you know.
No,
you're fine.
I'm ready. Like, next week is going to be big, though, right? Because I think there's a chance, as you pointed out, JP, with those joint practices with the Falcons, you can get a lot of work done in that environment. Maybe not expose these guys, your frontline guys, in that final preseason game. Now, we'll see what Doug Pederson's philosophy on that is, because you've got the bye week after that as well.
Correct.
So do you want to have not played any meaningful, for what passes as meaningful football, for 3 weeks going into the opener against Washington?
Well, I believe the final big cut is that next day, Sunday, after that Falcons game.
Right.
So you got to trim
You're
it down.
definitely going to be looking at the
you
end of the
got to see those guys in action.
But if you come out next week, maybe you get into the third quarter, right? A drive into the third quarter. It's possible, hey, you know what? Let's throw our first team out there for a game-opening drive just to keep the rhythm going a little bit, you know, and one drive, no matter what the outcome is, get them in, get them out, you know, let them break a sweat. We'll see. That's up to the head coach, Doug Pederson, who I would never second guess.
You would never do that.
Not yet. It's too early.
It's
Soon.
not even September
Doug.
yet.
It's coming, Doug. All right. Let's go back out to the phones at 355-NFL-1. Nathaniel's calling from the west side. Nathaniel, you're on the Scoreboard Show. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, all right. First off, I would like to say Duval. That was a good game for the first stringers. My question is for y'all. I want some early predictions on the season after we've seen the ones out there tonight.
Oh, I mean, early predictions. Pain. That's my prediction.
Thank you,
for
Clubber.
the other team.
Appreciate you, Clubber. I'll say we always do this when the schedule comes out. You go game by game and pick it. And I think I had them at 7-10 at that point in time, and it was like a 6-11, 7-10.
Did you get up
range.
to 8-9 wins?
I did
now
not.
After
No,
tonight?
no.
Oh.
I'm not. No, I mean, look again.
What did tonight give you? A win more?
No, it hasn't. Doug Pederson's coaching staff, I think, starts out with a couple more. And just the atmosphere, the competence, the professionalism, all that.
I think, and I've said this on different interviews over the offseason, I think coaching gets you 2 or 3. Just like you said, the operation. It gets in. The quarterback gets you at least 2 or 3. His improved play, right? That's 4 to 6 right there. And then the defense you think will be able to take the ball away a little bit more with the personnel they have. Don't know really what it's going to look like, but they feel like they're going to be better. That's going to get you a few, you would think. If you win the turnover battle, now we're talking about 8.
Right, but then if you're adding that to last year, see, that's the thing. Are you adding that to the 3? Are you starting at 3?
Hey, now you just keep build it. We're building.
You're
building.
You are the optimist here.
I'm just saying, man, it does. It's how it works.
It can. But you can also go back and go, how many? If you play that Bills game out last year, how many times are you going to win that game? You won it that time. You won it the time you played it.
That was kind of a weird game.
Right, so extremely low-scoring game. They had a great performance, but
now
if
Josh
you play
Allen
that
wouldn't
game,
say that. Josh went out and played a great game.
He did play a great game, but if you played that, they might win it 3 out of 20. Honestly, I mean, I'm just trying to be honest here.
Against that team, yeah,
right. And that they're so I don't think you can just say, well, we're going to start by splitting with the Colts because we did it last year. It doesn't always work that way.
Well, it's 7 years. They don't. If you have a horseshoe in your helmet, you don't come into the bank.
I understand that. I do understand that.
And get out of here with a W.
I hope that's the case because we got him in week 2. And Darius, formerly Darius, now Shaquille Leonard, looks like he might not be playing in that game. Chase Young might not be ready to go for the season opener for Washington. I'm just saying. But the big potential Achilles heel is health for this team. We're seeing it, right? Like these frontline guys, we are getting encouraged that maybe they can be more competitive, but got to see more out of some of these other guys because they're going to be called on to play. I get it. The ones late in the second half won't be on this roster, but the ones that will need to see more than what we've seen to this point. So, all right, moving along here. Let's go to James, who is on his way to Gainesville right now. Hi, James. How are you?
Hello,
James, you with us?
James.
I think James rolled the window down.
Driving to
enjoying
Gainesville.
That muggy night air.
301 somewhere.
Could be. Don't know. Maybe he's in traffic. He's trying to be responsible.
I like that. That's good. Let's take a timeout.
Okay.
And we'll come back with our final thoughts. And boy, do we have some. After a Jaguars loss to the Cleveland Browns, 24-13 in preseason week 1, this is the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.
Are you suffering from shoulder pain? If you have clicking and popping in the shoulder joint, persistent pain that intensifies with use, an inability to lift your arm over your head, or a tingling, burning sensation in the shoulder, elbow, or wrist, waiting to see a doctor could make your injury worse. Baptist Health and Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute have innovative and effective treatment options available right now to relieve your pain and restore your mobility. Don't wait. Call 904-JOI-2000.
At most sandwich places, asking for more of something is just part of the drill. But what if you never had to ask for more? What if more was just a given? At Daly's, more is what our sandwiches are built on. More meat, more cheese, more veggies, more quality, more taste. All for a price that's anything but more. Sandwiches from Dash, made fresh. Daly's.
Hey, Jaguars fans, are you tired of being late to the game because you're stuck in traffic or circling the lot looking for a place to park? Well, join the thousands of other Jags fans who already know the smartest way to get to TIAA Bank Field is on the JTA Game Day Express. Shuttles run from 4 convenient locations around Jacksonville, including the Kings Avenue parking garage on the South Bank. Tickets start at just $10 and are available exclusively on the Token Transit mobile app. The JTA Game Day Express. It's like winning before the game even starts.
Travel Camp RV, official RV dealer of the Jacksonville Jaguars, invites you to come shop their huge selection of inventory for your dream RV. With locations across the Southeast, you're sure to find them close by. Get value pricing on the top RV brands in the country, paired with the guaranteed best financing options available. You can also shop their inventory at travelcamp.com. Travel Camp RV has helped more families make more great memories in an RV since 1982. They're excited to add you to the Travel Camp RV family today.
You're beyond busy. Between work and the kids, the dogs and the cat, let us help. With Publix Delivery powered by Instacart, you'll get the items you need from the store you know. Just shop online, select the time you'd like your order delivered, and grocery shopping is done, giving you more time to take care of everything else. Publix Delivery, powered by Instacart. Visit Publix.com/delivery to shop now. That's Publix.com/delivery. Item prices vary from in-store prices. Service fees may apply. Available in select zip codes. Publix, where shopping is a pleasure.
Brooks Rehabilitation is hiring nurses who want to be empowered as advocates, educators, care coordinators, and leaders in exceptional patient care. They have open RN, LPN, HHA, and CNA positions across their inpatient, skilled nursing, and home health care settings. Join their nationally recognized team, where you'll serve as a central team member doing what you do best, providing exceptional patient care. Apply at careers.brooksrehab.org.
The Jaguars Scoreboard Show. Scoreboard Show continues right now.
Welcome back. Final moments of the Scoreboard Show. JP Shadrick, Mike Dempsey. Jaguars fall in preseason week 1, 24-13, but the starters won this game, 13-0. You got to look at it that way in preseason week 1, Mike, and that's what we were anticipating, or hoping at least, going into the game, to see some positivity out of the offense. I think you saw some of that tonight. The defense had a takeaway from the starters and held that Browns offense down a little bit. It was their first outing of the offseason.
And it was an incomplete team. Right. They had 10 healthy guys that they held out tonight.
They had a lot of things happening over in the Cleveland locker room.
They did. So. But, look, for a team that at least the backups have struggled with the running game, no Nick Chubb, no Kareem Hunt tonight to test this first team. So next week we'll get some Najee Harris. He's a big part of that. He had 381 touches last year in that Pittsburgh offense. So he's going to be one of the most busy running backs in the league once again this year. I think next week, if we can come out of the mid-second quarter into the second half and the Jags have a 10, 13-point lead, you're going to feel great about yourself because, next week's going to be probably for most teams the game they play their starters the longest, I would guess.
It would make sense. That's the natural progression. And then, as we said, the Jags go to Atlanta after the Steelers game for a couple days of practice in Flowery Branch before the preseason week 3, the final tune-up before the final roster cuts as well. So there's a lot of practices with other teams, a lot of game, a couple practices coming up, and I would guess Monday or Tuesday is that probably the full live tackling practice that Doug Pederson promised.
Yeah, Monday
as well.
seems to be the day that people are pointing towards. But
all right, let's go.
Let's go, man. And again, you got to prepare them. Just stay healthy. They for the most part have done that. Some nagging stuff, but nothing that is expected to keep anybody out for the long haul.
You know what, Mike? You take this weekend and stay healthy, too.
Okay. I got to get healthy before I can stay healthy.
I'm with you.
But thank you.
Tony Smith on our board, Linda Fortunato on the phones, Joe Fortunato.
Happy birthday, Joe.
It's his birthday. He's on the couch doing something. It's his birthday. He can do whatever the heck he wants. He's got 7 minutes remaining on his day. So congratulations to you. For Mike Dempsey and our entire crew, I'm JP Shadrick. Thank you for listening. Jaguars fall in preseason week 1, 24-13 to the Cleveland Browns. This has been the Scoreboard Show on Jaguars Radio.